Hi, in the previous video, we talked about the scientist's speed reading technique and how we can use that to ace the ACT Science. In this video, I'll be walking through an ACT Science practice test and applying those techniques. You can find the link to the test in the description below. Okay, so passage 1. We're going to start by reading the first sentence, or perhaps first two sentences at max. So here, the first sentence is saying we're conducting electricity. So we got the gist of the passage. We can jump to the questions now. So question 1, we're told according to table 1 at 298 kelvins. So that's the where. And then who are we looking for there? The density of nickel. And why are we finding the density of nickel? Oh, we need to find the other element that has a density close to that of nickel. So let's look at table 1. And table 1, nickel is this row, and density is on this column. So nickel has a density of 8.9. Now, the numbers that are close to that are either 7.87 or 8.96. And between these two, 7.87 is the number that's closest to 8.9, which corresponds to iron. So that would be our choice. Now for question 2, we're told to look at table 1 among period 3 elements. So the period 3 elements would be the who and the why. This time we're looking at the trend. As atomic mass increases, what happens to electrical conductivity? So table 1, period 3. Let's look at table 1. So period 3 would be these first three rows. And atomic mass is actually this first column. So we see that as we go down the rows, atomic mass is increasing. And then we're being asked to look at the conductivity column. So let's see what happens to conductivity as we go down the rows. It's going from 22.6 to 37.7. So conductivity is also increasing. So that would be choice F. For question 3, we're told to look at table 1 and the electrical conductivity of iron and aluminum. So that would be our who. And the why is that we're seeing which one conducts electricity more effectively. So let's look at table 1 first and locate aluminum and iron and look at the correct column, the conductivity. Okay, we see that aluminum has a conductivity of 37, which is much greater than 9.9. So aluminum has a higher conductivity. Going back to the answer choices, we see that choice F and J have the wrong facts. So the answer is either G or H. Now, at this point, you would draw on your general science knowledge that a higher electrical conductivity means that you conduct electricity more effectively, and you would go with answer H. But if you didn't know that, at this point, it's okay to look back at the passage and see whether the passage gives you a clue. So for this question, if you look at the second bullet, it was given that electrical conductivity tells us the ability to conduct electricity. So higher conductivity means a higher ability to conduct electricity, which means that the material conducts electricity more effectively. So ultimately, the choice is choice H, because aluminum has a higher electrical conductivity and therefore it conducts electricity more effectively. For question 4, we're told to look at table 1 and figure 1. That's our location, the where. And the who would be the conductivity of aluminum. And the why is that we're looking at which one of these temperatures were not given in either the table or the figure. So going back here, the table is all 298 Kelvin. And if we look at the figure is 300 kelvins through 900 kelvins. So we're going to look back at the answer choices, and we'll see that choice A is the choice where the temperature is neither in table 1 nor in figure 1. For question 5, we're told to look at figure 1, that's our where. And we're looking for the conductivity of aluminum and copper, where they're closest in value. And the reason that we're looking at that, the why, is that we're looking at the temperature corresponding to that. So let's look at figure 1 together. Now here, we're looking for where the conductivities of these two materials are closest to each other. So we see at the far left, they're further away from each other. But as we go to the right, the conductivities are becoming closer in value. Now the question asked us, what is the temperature corresponding to this position? So the temperature at the far right is 900, which would be choice J. For question 6, the where would be table 1, the who would be density of iron, and the why is a definition of density. So let's look at table 1 and look at density for iron is 7.87, but here we care about the units. It's gram per centimeters cubed. And so we'll go back to the question, and here we see that we're told it is 7.87 grams per centimeters cubed. Now, this is where the test makers are expecting you to draw on your general knowledge of units. Grams corresponds to mass, and 7.87 grams per centimeters cubed means 7.87 grams per 1 centimeters cubed, because 7.87 is the same as 7.87 over 1. So the choice that tells us this is choice A, where each centimeters cube of iron has a mass of 7.87 grams.